Boom! Cities crumbled, dust filled the air. The world we knew vanished. Gone were the days of takeout and traffic jams. Say hello to a world of silence except for the crackling of dying fires. It was a terrifying yet awe-inspiring sight. The old world, with all its complexities and contradictions, had been wiped clean. A blank canvas stretched before us, daunting yet full of possibilities. The silence was broken only by the wind whistling through broken windows and the occasional cough. A stark reminder of the fragility of life in this new, unfamiliar world. But amidst the desolation, a flicker of hope began to emerge. Survival was the name of the game. Every sunrise brought new challenges. Finding food and shelter became paramount. Yet even in those early days, the human spirit, ever resilient, began to shine through. Strangers banded together, sharing what little they had. Skills that were once taken for granted, like farming and building, became invaluable. A sense of community forged in the crucible of disaster began to blossom. The air, though heavy with the smell of ash, also carried the scent of something new. Determination. The will to not just survive, but to rebuild, to create something better from the ashes of the old.
Right then, you lot. Listen up! Boomed a voice, sharp and clear as a whip crack. It was the unmistakable voice of Maggie Green Thumb McGregor, a woman whose presence commanded attention and respect. Maggie's knowledge of all things green was as vast as the fields she dreamed of cultivating. She had an uncanny ability to turn the most barren of soils into fertile grounds, teeming with life. We might not have fancy supermarkets anymore, she'd say, brandishing a handful of seeds like they were precious jewels. These seeds, she believed, held the promise of a new beginning, a fresh start. But this here dirt? This is our gold mine now. Maggie taught us to identify edible plants, coax life from the scorched earth, and see potential where others saw only desolation. She showed us how to create ingenious irrigation systems from scrap metal and salvaged pipes. Her motto, where there's muck, there's brassicas. It was a testament to her resourcefulness and creativity. Under her guidance, barren patches of land were transformed into flourishing gardens, bursting with life and hope. Each plant that sprouted was a victory, a sign of resilience. The sight of a single sturdy tomato plant pushing through the ashes became a symbol of our collective determination. It was a reminder that even in the toughest conditions, life finds a way to thrive.
If Maggie was the queen of the fields, Bob the Hammer O'Reilly was the master builder of our brave new world. With a twinkle in his eye and a tool belt slung low on his hips, Bob could construct a shelter out of anything. See that pile of rubble? That ain't debris, my friends, that's opportunity knockin'.
And knock it did. Under Bob's guidance, we learned to identify salvageable materials, reinforce weakened structures, and build sturdy, weatherproof shelters from the bones of the old world. He taught us the art of repurposing, turning discarded metal sheets into roofs and old tires into sturdy foundations. Bob's infectious optimism and boundless energy were as vital as his building skills. He reminded us that every salvaged brick, every repurposed beam brought us one step closer to rebuilding our world. Rebuilding wasn't just about bricks and mortar, it was about rebuilding the very fabric of society. We needed rules, a system, a way to live together harmoniously in this new world. Town hall meetings were held, often under the vast canopy of the night sky. We debated, we argued, we laughed, we cried. We learned to compromise, to listen, to value each other's strengths. We established a barter system, trading skills and resources. A doctor bartered medical care for fresh vegetables. A mechanic traded engine repairs for lessons in carpentry. A new sense of community, built on trust and mutual respect, began to take root. Life after the apocalypse wasn't without its lighter moments. Despite the hardships, we found ways to keep our spirits high and our community close-knit. Take the Great Goat Escape of 26, for example. It was one of those days that started off normal but quickly turned into a comedy of errors. We just started a community farm and someone left the gate open. The goats saw their chance and took it, bolting for freedom. Let's just say those goats had a grand old time sampling our freshly planted vegetable patches. They were like kids in a candy store, munching on everything in sight. Chaos reigned supreme until Maggie, armed with a bag of oats and her trusty ukulele, stepped in. She had a knack for calming the animals. She managed to lure them back with an impromptu concert. Her soothing tunes and the promise of oats were irresistible to the goats.
Then there was the time Bob accidentally built his latest masterpiece. a magnificent treehouse directly above a beehive. He was so focused on his work, he didn't notice the buzzing. Let's just say gravity and angry bees don't mix well. The bees were not pleased with their new neighbor.
The sight of Bob covered in honey and stinger welts, dangling from a rope ladder while we tried desperately to fight off the bees with smoke from a makeshift fire, was unforgettable. It was a sight that still brings tears to our eyes, though mostly from laughter. We couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all.
These mishaps, though frustrating at the time, became legendary tales, reminders that even in the face of adversity, laughter was our greatest weapon. We would gather around the campfire and recount these stories, each time with more embellishment. Our shared humanity, our strongest bond, was what kept us going. In the end, it was these moments of joy and laughter that made life bearable and even beautiful. Years passed. The sun rose and set on a world reborn, a world that had learned to heal and grow from its scars. The air, once choked with smoke, now carried the sweet scent of wildflowers and freshly tilled soil. Nature had reclaimed its place, painting the landscape with vibrant colours and life. The ruins of the old world, once stark reminders of loss, were now integrated into the architecture of the new, a testament to our resilience. These structures stood as monuments to our ability to adapt and rebuild. We built windmills for power, hydroponic gardens for food, and schools from salvaged textbooks and repurposed computers. Our ingenuity turned challenges into opportunities, creating a sustainable and innovative society. Our communities, once scattered and struggling, were now thriving hubs of innovation and creativity. People came together, sharing ideas and resources, fostering a spirit of collaboration and mutual support. We hadn't just rebuilt civilization, we built something better, something stronger, something more connected to the earth and to each other. Our bonds grew deeper, and our respect for the planet became a guiding principle. We learned that the true measure of a civilization wasn't its technological prowess, but its capacity for compassion, cooperation, and laughter, even in the face of the unimaginable. These values became the foundation of our new world. The apocalypse, though a period of immense loss, had also been a period of profound rediscovery. We found strength in our history and wisdom in the lessons of the past. It had stripped away the superfluous and revealed what truly mattered: community, resilience, and the simple joy of a life lived in harmony with nature and each other. We embraced a simpler, more meaningful existence. We had faced our fears, embraced the unknown, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more connected than ever before. Our journey had forged a unity that was unbreakable. The future, once uncertain, now stretched before us, bright with the promise of a new dawn. We looked ahead with hope, ready to build a world that honored our past and celebrated our collective potential.